Hey everybody, so it's been a while since I've done one of those videos where I told you what I'm currently reading as I'm reading it, so you can get my sort of ongoing opinion. So today I thought I'd share with you the 3 books that I'm currently reading, and then I was like, why don't I tell you about 3 books that I can't wait to get to, books that are sitting on my TBR. So today, it's 3 books I'm reading today and 3 books I'm reading tomorrow. So let's get started. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's Russell with Ink and Paper Blog. How are you all doing today? I hope you're happy, I hope you're healthy, I hope you're safe, and of course I hope you're reading an amazing book or 2 or 3 or 4. I am reading an amazing book or 2 or 3. I have to tell you, I am very happy with my reading right now. And I have a plethora of books to choose from to read next. I'm so very, very blessed in the bookish world lately, and I just want to share all that bookish love with you. So today I'm here to share with you the 3 books I'm currently reading and 3 books that are up next on my TBR. So without further ado, get out your pen, get out your paper, get out your Goodreads, however you keep track of your TBR. If you are so able, please get these books from your local independent bookstore, or if you're a library user, get your library to get you a copy as soon as possible. So I'm going to start with the books that I'm currently reading, and I am going to say I'm sorry to the author and the publisher because I am late to this book. You all told me to read, and I was like, you know what, too much hype, I'm going to hold off. And the hype was real and deserved. And that is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. This is Gabrielle Zevin, sorry, I a'd the end there. This is the paperback copy. It's out from Vintage. They sent it to me with the most adorable tote bag. If you haven't seen it on my Instagram, go check it out. It's the cutest thing ever. And the paperback arrived, and I had to go on a business trip to San Diego, and I wanted something small to throw in my bag to read, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to take Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. I'll throw it in. I was like, okay. I got it out at the boat while waiting for my plane, and I did not put it down until I got in the rental car. I was obsessed. And it is so good, y'all. It is really as good as you told me it was going to be. So Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow is a story of friendship. And it is the story of Sam and Sadie. We meet them when they're very young. Well, we meet them while they're in college, but we find out that they met when they were very young. Sam was in a very bad accident and has been hurt pretty severely. And he meets Sadie, and they sort of spark up a friendship around video games. Something happens, and there's a long gap before they talk again, and Sam is in New York, and he sees Sadie in a subway station, yells her name, and so starts the friendship that changes their lives. Now we find out that they are both still obsessed with video games, and they decide to write a video game together, and when they write the video game, it takes off. It changes the trajectory of their life. And this book is not only about video games. It's not only about that world and how to get lost in it, and how that world of video games has saved many a person, many a child from different situations, got them through difficult times. This is a story of friendship. Sam and Sadie's friendship is not easy. There's selfishness, there's thoughtlessness, but there's love, and there's a dedication to one another. They have other friends that enter and exit the picture. They travel from New York to California, and things get complicated. I am finding this one of the best written books I have read in a really long time. So readable. The characters are so real. They absolutely jump off the page. It's so good. So if you, like me, said Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow has had too much hype, I'm not going to read it, stop. Because I'm telling you, as a person that's had to say I'm sorry, it is worth all the hype and worth the reading. So that's Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin, and this is out from Vintage. I've been calling this book like a literary version of the TV show Mythic Quest. So if you've watched Mythic Quest, you'll know what I mean. You will love it. I promise. There's heart, there's humor, there's sadness, there's so much going on. The next book that I'm going to tell you about, I'm on page 210, and I'm actually reading and listening to this one together, so I can promise you the audiobook is also fantastic. And that's Long Island Compromise by Taffy, Brodesser-Akner, Brodesser-Akner, and this is out from Random House. Now, I read Fleshman is in Trouble. Was it longlisted? It was longlisted for the National Book Award. And when I started Fleshman, I thought, this book isn't going to be for me. And I loved that book. And now I'm back in Taffy's amazing hands in another family drama, and I am eating it up. So this is, as it says, a Long Island story, a Long Island Jewish family story. We start the book with the father of this family. They're very wealthy. They live in this wealthy community, in this big house. Their grandmother actually lives like on this compound down the street. They own a factory, and they've just been very, very wealthy. And at the beginning of the book, the father is actually kidnapped. And that kidnapping and his return changes the dynamic of this entire family. Now, what Taffy is doing is she is giving us the each section by a different child. What happens is the grandmother, the matriarch of this all, has passed away, and we're sort of all brought back together, back to the life. And let me tell you, this book is bawdy, sexy, sometimes very, very R-rated, but hilarious and troubling. These characters are so frustrating. One character is like obsessed with BDSM because he needs something like that to sort of bring him back to a sense of reality and what's the word I want to look for? Ecstasy, maybe. He is a character unlike anything I've ever read. I'm now in the section with Nathan, who is, I believe, the oldest brother, who, because of the kidnapping of his father, has immense anxiety and has been trying to prove himself, but he's afraid to do anything. And his relationship with his wife, his children, he sort of instills in his son this same sense of fear of the world. This section is cracking me up and at the same time frustrating me in all the good ways. I can't wait. I have to imagine we're getting to the sister section soon. But what we find out, spoiler alert, not everything is what we thought about the family business, the family money, and all of that kind of stuff. And that is going to affect everybody. There's like a Hollywood aspect. The younger brother wrote a movie right out of college. It did fairly well, but's never been able to find that sort of success again. It is so good, and it is so full of drama and all of that kind of stuff. I am obsessed. Long Island Compromise by Taffy, Brodesser-Akner, and this is out from Random House. And they also sent me the most adorable hat and bag with that book. I wore the hat. I posted it on my Instagram while I went book shopping with my nephew while he was here. Yeah, so those are my two literary fiction reads right now. And if you know me from watching my channel, sometimes I just need a fantasy book to cleanse my palate, sort of get me out of the real world, get me out of that drama, and take me somewhere else and another drama. And so right now I'm reading Mistress of Lies by K.M. Enright, and this is out from Orbit Books. This comes out in August. And I am pretty far in this one. I'm almost 300 pages, so I'm pretty close to the end here. This book is going to be hard for me to explain. So it is a fantasy world. We're in this one kingdom that is sort of ostracized from the rest of the world because they allow the use of blood magic. We have two main characters. We have oh goodness, how do I want to explain this, y'all? We have two main characters. We have Shan, S-H-A-N. I'm saying Shan in my head when I read it. Is a young woman who has just killed her father because she wants to take over the house, take over his seat in Parliament. She is a blood worker. She has the ability to do blood magic, and she is conniving. She is completely into like the underbelly of this country. She's known for secrets and she knows for knowledge, and she's done what she's done because she wants to reinvent her family's name and really protect her brother who was born without magic, which is its own thing. There are people in this country that don't have magic. They're called the unblooded, and they are treated terribly. And one of them is Samuel. Now, we quickly find out that Samuel is actually someone very, very important and has his own type of magic that the king of the world, the king of this country definitely wants to have his hands on. And it's the story of Shan trying to sort of do all of the political things to get the king out of power and reinstate someone new and change things. And Samuel coming from this world of poverty, being unblooded, into another world where he now has power and not knowing how to handle it. And of course there's like this dynamic of romance between the two of them. There's also this other character named Isaac, who is the main blood magic worker for the king, who used to be Shan's best friend, but left her behind, and now their relation. It is like political drama. It is magic. It is sexy. It is intriguing. It is page-turning, and I am absolutely loving it. It is just what I need when I need to escape from the world, and that's Mistress of Lies by K.M. Enright, and this is out from Orbit in August. And all I ask, K.M. Enright, please let there be a sequel. Well, I hope there's a sequel. I am really loving it. Okay, so those are the 3 books that I'm currently reading. Let me tell you about 3 books that are up next on my TBR. The first I want to tell you about is 4 Squares by Bobby Finger. This is out from Putnam. And this is one of those, I'm hoping going to be like one of those hug for your heart books. Set in 1992, our main character Artie is having his 30th birthday when he meets the man that will change his life. He is in New York City. You know, it's just at the tail end of the AIDS epidemic, and he goes to this bar where he meets Abe, and Abe is everything that Artie is not, and that relationship changed everything for him. Now 30 years later, Artie is you know, older, and he finds that Abe's ex-wife and daughter are about to move across the country, and Artie has built a life, like a nice life for himself, but maybe it's very small and doesn't have many parts and pieces to it. And then he gets injured, and he winds up, I'm going to just read this to you. When a surprising injury pushes Artie into the hands of GALS, all capital letters, the local center for queer seniors, a rambunctious group of elders insist on taking him under their wing. What follows will open up Artie's world in unimaginable ways. I think that sounds so charming. If you don't follow the old gays on Instagram, please do so. And I am just charmed by that, and I think it sounds absolutely lovely. So that is 4 Squares by Bobby Finger, and that is out from Putnam. We are going to go a completely different direction and talk about I See Buildings Fall Like Lightning by Keiran Goddard, and this is out from Europa Books. Now, I read Kieran's first book. I got to remember what it was called, Hourglass, which was actually told in verse. This is very different, but I really liked Hourglass. I was like, I am there for Kieran's next book. And so he does something completely different, which all authors that do, I'm always impressed, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do. And this is told from 5 different perspectives, 5 childhood friends that all grew up on the same housing estate in England, but all have had very different lives. We have one character, the only one of these 5 who's been able to leave and move out of this housing estate. They have come together at the beginning of the book. I have started this one to celebrate Ollie, who is turning 30, but almost surprisingly so, because he is very much addicted to drugs and just sort of always on that verge, but also they're drug dealers, so that relationship is very interesting, very clever. And then the other ones who I have not actually met, who are all have different things going on. This is a story of friendship, it's a story of loyalty and family and all of that, set in this English housing estate, and I am really excited for that one. So that's I See Buildings Fall Like Lightning by Keiran Goddard, and this is out from Europa Books. Okay, last but not least in this video is Nicked by M.T. Anderson. This is out from Pantheon Books. You may remember Feed, which was his last book, which I think was like pretty much everywhere when it was out. Y'all, all I'm going to say about this book is that it takes place in 1087, and it's the story of a monk who has a dream about Santa Claus, Saint Nicholas, that will help him, that he has been charged to try to cure people from the plague. But the church introduces him to a treasure hunter who is known for finding religious treasures and wants to go find the 700-year-old bones of Saint Nicholas. And because they are rumored to weep some sort of liquid that can cure people's illnesses. And it's a story of this monk and this man who go to steal St. Nicholas's bones. Do you need more than that? Does that not sound like the craziest thing you've heard? I am so excited about Nicked by M.T. Anderson. This is out now from Pantheon Books. Get your hands on it as we speak. So, did you like this? Should I do this more? Three books I'm reading today, 3 books I'm going to read tomorrow, something like that. So let me hold them up here for you. I will tell you these 3. I know not all of you are fantasy readers, but this is good. These 2 are so amazing, and I cannot wait for the rest of these books. As always, I always encourage you to read globally, shop locally, and until next time, I wish you happy reading. Bye, everyone.